And also, you said, Jimmy, that you worked a lot on the renewable energy.
That's right. Yeah.
So, are you actually designing the devices, or are you thinking how best to install them, or what is your work about?
Sometimes we design devices, sort of part of research projects here, but primarily we test technologies that have been developed by external people, sort of developers or SMEs and things like that. So they come to us with their technology, and we do numerical modelling and physical modelling of that, sort of in order to show whether the technology works, how much energy it produces, and whether it can survive the loadings and wave conditions.
And how long have you been doing this type of work?
Well, the centre has been doing it for 30 years. I've been doing it myself for about 10 or 15 years now. So
the centre in HMRC?
It started off the HMRC, then it became MaREI.
Yes. And from your point of view, currently, what are the best kind of renewable energy devices which are practical?
Okay.
Is it only wind turbines, or because I know tidal wave?
Yes, tidal and wave. Yeah. So I suppose
not commercially viable yet, is it?
No, they're not. So offshore wind is obviously a viable commercial industry, but it's mainly fixed wind. So wind turbines that are directly fixed to the seafloor through monopiles or jacket structures, so they're commercial. But the next stage is floating wind, and we're doing a lot of work on floating platforms.
Has anybody done it yet?
It has been done, yeah. So it's at the pre-commercial stage now, floating wind. Sort of there's a huge resource for floating wind, but the technologies are there, and there's a lot of companies now developing floating platforms, to try and get to become a market leader in
Are you designing your own floating platform, or are you using the ones which
we have designed floating platforms, sort of, but primarily, sort of we're testing for other people. So we have a big test facility down below, so, and what we do is we test their technology and see how much they move and how well they react to wave conditions. So that's floating wind. So floating wind is the next thing that will happen in terms of offshore renewable energy. Sort of after that, I would see tidal energy. So there's been developments in tidal energy already in terms of small-scale arrays. Sort of, but tidal energy still costs too much. So they need to make more optimizations to get the cost down.
And how does wind energy compares to solar energy? Solar panels.
Well, I suppose, sort of if we're looking at Northern Europe, sort of wind, we're obviously in a very windy location, so wind makes sense for us more than solar at the moment, sort of, and solar, I suppose, wouldn't be regarded as a sort of an offshore resource primarily, sort of, there's a lot of sites on land where you could have solar, so we're focusing on what you can put offshore, which is wind, wave, and tidal.
And you mentioned that, I know in this building you have amazing test facilities for testing this new equipment that is being developed. But I remember when I visited your center, when it was HMRC a few years ago in Tramore Road in Cork, you also had some test facilities. You have a wave tank.
Exactly.
And what I'm curious about, how does this new test facility compares to what you had there? Is it more advanced, or is it? It
is, sort of I think, sort of the test facility we currently have puts us on a par or better than any other facility worldwide, whereas previous to that we weren't at that level, so, and as well we currently have the full suite of test tanks required to develop technologies from initial concepts and ideas to a stage prior to them going offshore, so there's a process for developing technologies that starts off at a very small scale model. Then before you go offshore, you build as big a model you can in the tank and test that. And we can do all of that now, whereas in the past, some of the testing that would have been done in Ireland would have gone to other countries in Europe. So we have all the equipment and facilities required to test these technologies to pre-open sea deployments.
And is it the most advanced test facility that exists in Ireland of this type, or
it is? It's. I think sort of what sort of the good thing about MaREI is that we're focusing our efforts in terms of the different universities. So UCC, in terms of marine renewable energy, focuses a lot on the testing, and the other universities don't. So we're the main infrastructure in Ireland for testing marine technologies. Sort of the NUIG would be testing, say, structures, like tidal blades and things like that, and Maynooth University then would be looking at the control systems for renewable energy technology. So we all have our own particular area of expertise, and I think that's one of the benefits of the MaREI Centre, in terms of optimising our limited resources that we get from the government.
In terms of the design of these test facilities that you have in this building, who designed it? Was it yourself, or? Well,
there was a team of us. So we were sort of the practical users of it. So we obviously had an input into the overall design, but then sort of you have to get involved with builders and architects, and then there's the financial issues as well. How much money is available and what we can do for that money. So all of these things were factors in the final design that we came up with.